Being in a relationship with a loved one is amazing. It provides us with a sense of purpose, a sense of love, that we're cared for. But those relationships can often be the breeding ground for conflicts and arguments. Disagreements and conflicts are just a natural part of any long-term relationship. And in this video, I want to share with you 3 ways that you can healthily manage those conflicts that will support your relationships for the better. I'm Desh, I'm a qualified counsellor, and it is my mission to support you in your own mental health journey by increasing your self-awareness. And in this video, I want to share with you 3 ways that you can manage conflicts that you have with your partner. You may find yourself experiencing a lot of conflicts and disagreements with your partner, and because the emotions are running high, it may be difficult to know how to navigate it or which way to move forward. Well, I want to offer you 3 solutions that may help you to navigate those conflicts. The first is active listening. Now, active listening is a skill. And believe me, it is a skill. As a counsellor, we are trained to be good listeners. Now, active listening doesn't mean that you're just sitting there being quiet, letting your partner talk. There's a lot more to it that goes unseen. So it's about making sure you maintain good, steady eye contact with your partner, and also pick up on what they're telling you versus what their body is communicating to you. So maybe they're telling you something that happened at work and they're saying it's not a big deal. However, you're noticing some tension. You may be picking up from your partner, they seem quite tense about it. They're telling you it's okay, they're not stressed, but you're noticing some stress, you're picking this energy up. So this is all a part of active listening, which is what is being said versus what am I feeling? What do I feel is happening? So this is where you need to develop that skill of empathy by essentially trying to put yourself in the other person's shoes. Like, what's their experience? What's happening for them? It's not necessarily about how you react or feel, it's about how they're feeling, even if you disagree with them. So this is a key part of active listening, and the reason I mention this as a way to manage conflicts is because if you regularly practice this with your partner, you will be preempting conflicts. It will prevent conflicts from happening because the partner will feel like you are listening, that they have a safe space to express themselves, and that you are picking up what's going on for them, rather than trying to give advice necessarily or trying to help them or maybe telling them where they're going wrong. This is about what's going on for your partner. So you're giving all of your energy into what's going on for them. This is empathy. And empathy is the antidote to conflicts, because if someone's showing you empathy, it's very difficult to argue with them because they're not attacking you, they're not judging you, they're just trying to understand genuinely what's going on for you. So a really good way to develop empathy is when your partner tells you what's happened to them, or if you're listening to them, once they've finished, reflect that back to them what you've heard. So you're kind of summarizing what they've told you. This not only shows the person you've been listening, but it's also an opportunity for you to make sure you understood what they said correctly. So this shows you care. You're not just listening, but you care about what they said. You want to make sure you've understood it correctly. There is a great deal of connection that happens in these moments because the person will feel loved and cared for, that this person is wanting to support me, is listening to me. So this is a vital way to manage conflict. The second way is to be accountable. Use I am language rather than you did. I am angry rather than you made me angry. Okay, so own how you feel and own what you say. This matters because even if you end up being in a conflict, if you show the person that you're taking responsibility for how you're feeling and what you're saying, this gives a great sense of confidence that you are owning what you're saying, that you're in control of what you're saying, and you're not just blaming the person or looking for others to blame. You recognize your own role and own feelings in that conflict, and you want to find a way forward rather than you made me angry, this is all your fault, and you end up yelling at that person. And maybe your reaction to them was not proportionate for what happened. So again, this requires self-awareness and self-reflection. How am I feeling? If I am feeling angry at this person, why? What's going on? Now, it might be they did something to make you angry. It could be they betrayed your trust. So you may feel you are absolutely justified to be angry. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have any feelings or shouldn't be angry. I'm saying you have to understand why. Why are you feeling in a certain way? Because A lot of the times our defense mechanisms can kick in. So we may end up displacing anger to our partner when really it was our boss we're angry about. We may end up projecting our own fears or insecurities onto our partner. So there's a lot going on under the surface that we need to be aware of in order to manage and mitigate any potential conflicts that could be avoided. So being responsible for what you say and showing and telling your partner and that person that I am taking responsibility for what I'm telling you and what I'm feeling. I've done the work to understand why I'm feeling this way, and that you would have an expectation that your partner does the same. And if they're unable to, let them know, give them feedback, let them know what's going on, and offer them your support so that you can help to manage future conflicts. The third way to manage conflicts is to come willing. Both come to the table willing to talk, being open-minded enough where you're able to accept where you may have gone wrong, what the reasons for the conflict were, and not judging the other person or yourself for getting there. Because conflicts, just as failure, in order to succeed you have to fail, in order to have a long-lasting relationship you're going to encounter conflicts and disagreements and arguments. It's going to happen. And because we are emotional beings, our emotions are sometimes going to get the better of us. Again, this happens. So it's about having compassion for yourself and for each other, but both come willing with the mentality of we both want to understand the truth of the conflicts, what's really happened. And there may be a degree of finger pointing, there may be a degree of recognizing where we each have gone wrong, but we both have to be open-minded enough to have that discussion. Because if I'm open-minded enough and you aren't, this is not going to work. You're only going to see the situation through a certain lens, which is I'm wrong and you're right. We both have to be willing to admit when we've gone wrong so we can grow from it, learn from it, and move on to help future conflicts. And you can click up there for an exercise that will help you to manage those conflicts with your partner, or you can even do it by yourself. It's a really great way to break down a situation into different parts, into small parts that you can easily analyze and process. Remember that entering into disagreements or arguments is not a bad thing. In fact, it's necessary for you to become stronger as a couple and to be more resilient. But if you find yourself consistently getting into the same arguments every time, it suggests that there's a lack of growth or learning from them. So this is where you both have to be willing to enter into that conversation in order to preserve the relationship going forward. And sometimes that means setting boundaries with each other on things you are willing or not willing to tolerate. Comment below on what your experiences are of managing conflict, whether it's with intimate relationship or at work or with your friends. I would love to hear about it. Please like and subscribe. There's going to be more content coming out soon.